Hey everybody, Dimitri Panos here. Just a small part, well, half of KDM. I am the D as in Dimitri. Welcome everybody. The K stands for Kit, as in Kit Bowen, who is the other person on the screen to my left, or maybe your right, depends on how you have your monitor. It shouldn't really matter, to be honest with you. I don't know what I'm talking about. And the M, you might be wondering, well, who's the M? Well, the M stands for movies. And that's what we do here at KDM. We discuss and break down movies. So KDM, Kit Dimitri Movies. Hi, Kit. How are you?
Good. Hi, Dimitri. I'm good. I'm ready to talk about the juice.
Yes. We're going to be doing today is our special health episode. We're going to be talking about juicing today. Yes. Do you juice? Do you juice? Let us know what your favorite juice is. I can tell you one of my favorite juices is Beetlejuice, of course.
Yes.
So, and today we will be talking Beetlejuice. FYI, folks, if you're new to the show, well, thank you for joining. If you're old to the show, thank you for continuing to join. Please like, subscribe, let us know what you think. We leave the comments open. Also, this is a spoiler. This is a very spoilerific show going forward. It dawned on me, Kit, the other day. It's like we post usually after the movie's release. So
Right.
so a movie has had its opening weekend gross. This one looks to do fairly well, which means a lot of moviegoers will have seen the movie by the time this discussion posts. So it's safe for us to do spoilers. Now, if you aren't one of the people that has to go out opening weekend, I would suggest you put us on pause, go watch the movie, come on back and join the discussion. You have already seen the movie, join the discussion, watch us. We just did Alien Romulus last week, and it was
Yeah.
2 weeks, I think, 2 to 3 weeks after the movie had released. And it's gotten one of our highest viewerships, like right off the bat, which was very impressive, very humbling. Thank you, Kit. I think, no small part, your contributions, and we do this show, and it was very humbling to see right out of the gate. We had like 100+ views and such.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty
Great.
awesome.
Thanks,
And I
guys.
suspect, yeah, thank you all. So, without any further ado, get your juicers ready. And as always, I say ladies first. Kit, what did you think of Beetlejuice?
Yeah. Don't say it 3 times.
I want
Um,
to.
I had a lot of fun with it. I did. I thought it was, I've been however many years, long time. Since
36.
it, wow. Since the
36 years. I just did the math actually before the show. 36.
Yeah. So clearly there's still an audience for it. I mean, it is considered the first one's considered a classic on and many people's views as far as just Tim Burton's kind of at his best type. He was just getting his start really. I can't remember. Did he do Beetlejuice before Edward Scissorhands? I think he did. Don't
We
know
can
the
look that
timeline
up
on that.
too.
Don't know the timeline on that. Anyway,
Folks, we don't
um,
have like a staff to look this up. So while she talks, I will look that up.
but yeah, I thought seeing everybody again was a lot of fun this time around. Lydia Dietz, played by Winona Ryder, she is a mom herself, and she's become kind of a ghost hunter type person who has a TV show where she goes because she can actually still see ghosts. So that is kind of her skill now. And so she has this TV show, and it kind of seems like she doesn't really want to do the TV show, but she's been talked into it by her producer manager, played by Justin Theroux, who's very funny in this as well. He's kind of the new layman to everything.
Rory. Right.
Rory. Um, but we start off finding out that Charles Dietz, who was played by Jeffrey Jones in the original, has died, and his wife, widow or whatever, played by Catherine O'Hara, um, is has been in Lydia's life for the since they since the first one, so they've remained in touch and close. But you also come to find out that Lydia also has a daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, who just I hope she doesn't feel like she's getting typecast. She has that sort of morose goth look just in general in her life, playing Wednesday and now Astrid. Anyway, so kind of the impetus to go back to this small town where the original ghost house is what they call it, where I guess Charles still owns it, and so they go back to this small town to pay homage to Charles and to bury him and everything. And then of course things start to happen all over again with Beetlejuice, who again played by the wonderful and lovely Michael Douglas. He wants to change his name back to his real name.
Oh, like
it's not Michael Keaton anymore. It's Michael Douglas. So.
Well, he says, you know what, until everybody else embraces that, to me, there's only one Michael Douglas, like there's only one Michael Keaton.
You're right. Exactly.
That's to me. I'm going to call him Michael Keaton. Michael Douglas. How's
that is his name. That's his name.
I get it. But, there's only one Michael Douglas in my thing. And that's for another podcast. But if you have a thought, save it, come on here and say it, because you brought it up, Kit.
Well, it just came out. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so we are back into the bureaucratic afterlife, which is still just fantastic. And we have a new sort of head of it, because Sylvia Sidney, who played in the original, she has passed. She was 88 years old. But she was great too in the original. But now it's William Dafoe, who was a TV actor cop, and now he pretends to be a cop or something. That's very funny. Yep. The yes. Ghost assistant, his assistant keeps handing her.
Oh my God, his assistant is great. Wolf Jackson is his name. Wolf Jackson. Right. Yeah, he's great.
It's awesome. Anyway, lots going on in here, but I had a lot of fun with it. I think maybe there's 1-2 little things that I could have gotten rid of. I would have gotten rid of the whole Monica Bellucci part, which
Me too.
Yeah, it wasn't needed. It really wasn't needed. I mean, it didn't take away from the film, and in my opinion, but it just was an added thing I just didn't need. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, I mean, obviously spoilers again, but she plays actually we get a little past on Beetlejuice's life.
She plays Dolores,
who was his wife or whatever. They get married in the plague in I guess the 1600s or something like that. Right. And that's how Beetlejuice dies. She poisons him because she's a soul sucker. So she comes back to, I guess, seek revenge. I don't know exactly. Like I said, seemed very unneeded. But everything else I thought was an interesting twist to it all. And certainly the dynamic between the three female characters was great. Astrid feeling she's resentful of her mom. She feels like she never gave her enough attention. And then of course her father had passed in an accident as well. That Lydia, I guess they weren't together when he died, but still she loved him, and Astrid's very bitter about all of that. So it's it's trying to reconnect, and but of course the highlights are all with Michael Keaton in them, and some of the musical numbers in this, they outdid themselves.
I mean, yes, I don't disagree with pretty much everything that you've said. I think the Monica Bellucci as Dolores was the only superfluous character in this movie. There was a lot going on, and like, to me, yes, it gave us some background to Beetlejuice. Like, we understand a little bit more how he got to where he is, and so on and so forth. Had that just been done in some semblance of exposition, that would have been fine. Had the character not been in the movie, it doesn't affect the outcome of the movie. So to me, outside of it being Monica Bellucci, and she sort of kind of plays, um, she sort of kind of resembled Sally. She was a
Yes.
Sally-esque from Nightmare
Yes.
Before Christmas, as being
Yes.
stitched
Yes.
together and such. That's a very Burton-esque thing.
Mhm.
But no, I agree with you. As for the musical numbers, look, nothing's going to surpass the banana, the Harry
Belafonte.
Belafonte. Yeah, like the dinner scene, because it just comes out of nowhere, right?
Right.
So you kind of expect that there'd be something here, and there's just a couple that are just, I thought, brilliant. Like
Yeah.
there's a scene where Beetlejuice is in his miniature strumming a guitar, doing "Waiting for You." I'll be right here waiting for you. I cried. And the way Michael Keaton did it, oh my God. Listen, I'm in agreement. Like, this seems to be a movie that you and I are in agreement on. I think that this is just very, for a movie that's 36 years, as a sequel, 36 years in the making here, right? Um, it's sort of kind of like Twisters when you think about it. Again, a
Yes.
huge
Yes.
gap between original and sequel. And usually this does not work.
Right.
From either the audience has changed or whatever, but Twisters made it work. Personally, I think that having these people on board, particularly Tim Burton, and working for at Warner Brothers, it's Burton Unleashed.
Yeah.
And this has his, it really serves up a melange of the macabre, gore, and comedy. And
Yes.
I actually found this movie to be as shocking, if more shocking, that there were scenes in this movie, Kit. I think you're going to agree. And forgive me, I don't mean to like put feelings or sentiments in your mouth, so to speak, but there were scenes in this that I was like, oh my God.
Well,
That they
certainly, as I would certainly say, what happens to Charles Dietz and then his afterlife body was pretty gross. I loved
I
it.
just want, and with the,
Loved it.
again, going back to the Tim Burton-esque using claymation stop motion animation. Oh man, what a breath of fresh air this movie feels in today's marketplace. And again, you and I have echoed this. In a current modern world where everything looks like it's cookie cutter, and people is, oh, how come they don't do anything original? And I grant it, this is a sequel, but yet it's unlike anything you're going to see this summer, and it's
Right.
going to have things very much like the original Beetlejuice. Was
Mhm.
with Burton's vision, the claymation scene of the plane going down, and it brilliant, right?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I was more talking about the homage to the very classic B horror movie It's Alive.
Oh,
with
okay.
the birth of little It's Alive
Oh,
Beetle. Oh,
oh, I forgot about that. Yes, that
how
was a
could you
little
forget
shocking.
about that? It's
That was
shocking.
shocking.
I was like, oh my God. I could, and it just made, in this movie was PG-13,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah,
pushed an envelope. Like
it did. It did.
it
There's
pushed,
a
like
lot of
we're a
blood.
little, we're there
Actually,
was
you
a
know
little
what?
bit.
My favorite part was the Soul Train. I
Oh,
loved
so
the Soul Train. Everyone's like, 70s Soul Train.
I love it. Oh my God, I love the Soul Train. Um, but
He absolutely he not only continued the afterlife wonderfulness that we got from the first one, but he even extended it to another level. I thought,
it grew the
just
world.
it
Yeah,
did. It grew the world.
yeah.
It did.
It
It
grew
did.
the world, and we had, again, I just want, like, there was a film that came out earlier this summer that was rated R, that many people feigned that they clutched their pearls because of a particular sex scene that I thought was like boring as hell. And I said, you guys didn't grow up in the 80s, like, because this is like pales in comparison. But this movie was actually like shocking. Like I was like, oh
Yes.
my God, they're going
Yep.
there. The Soul Train was great. You all the other beautiful musical number comes in the third act where it's Richard
What?
Harris's yeah, oh my God, MacArthur Park.
MacArthur
Oh,
Park.
oh my God. And then when you intercut it with William Dafoe and his da-da-da, but MacArthur Park, I
I know.
don't think that I
That
could
was
make
so great. And
oh
it's like
brilliant.
they all have like this other voice too. It's like when
Yes.
Beetlejuice is telling his backstory too, that was very
Oh,
funny as
it's
well. With his like
Spanish? Like it's like what the
some like
hell?
weird B Spanish movie or something.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, yep, you're right. I am going with this. I am playing with this. This is fantastic. Um, and then I
Yeah, I
bought,
laughed my
I
ass
bought
off.
and again, unlike most anything I've seen this year. And again, I'll go like is a perfect no, but I really did like so there's this Arthur Conte who plays Jeremy, who's sort of kind of like a love interest
Yeah,
to Astrid. Um,
I kind of guessed
it
that.
yeah, and again, it really plays to the macabre aspect, but we come to find out that he's a sinister ghost
Right,
who killed his parents and whatnot. And he's looking for a way back into the corporeal world,
right.
and he's using Astrid now. And then of
But
course,
playing upon her feelings for her father, basically. Yeah,
correct, and then that invokes that and Lydia. The only person that can help Lydia, and it makes sense, is Beetlejuice at
yes,
this point, right? Who, by the ways, I think it's great that 36 years later, he's still pining for Lydia.
yeah. But
It's
also,
great.
I actually really like the idea. I mean, he's still not the greatest of guys, but
No.
he's a little bit more sympathetic in this than he was before, obviously, because
Yes, yeah, I agree. Like
yeah,
he played more of he kind of helps out. I kind of,
yeah,
let me ask you, did you feel similar to me? Like he kind of gets the shaft at the end and he
yeah.
helped out. Like,
He
look, we knew
did,
that you're right.
but he still had one objective in mind, and that couldn't happen. So
That wasn't gonna
he
happen.
had to
I
go.
get that.
So
Yeah. And I get it. But the premise for bringing Beetlejuice back, and again, take out the Monica Bellucci stuff because it really doesn't affect anything.
no,
Um, having, that means Lydia has to go into the world of the undead,
hmm
which is a big no-no, which brings Willem Dafoe's character into this. We need to, I gotta get this Beetlejuice. He's breaking the rules and get this
right,
Lydia out of here. So that
yep,
gets him involved. Those aspects of the movie to me, I found to be very organic and okay. Everything's set in motion. This is why A leads to B leads to C and D.
right,
That to me worked. And
yeah,
I bought it. And it's like, okay, this is why we're getting Beetlejuice back. So and it's a different story, but it still focuses on family.
yeah. It does.
Family, yeah, which is really cool. I loved that Lydia and Astrid had um almost a similar relationship to what Lydia um had with Catherine O'Hara or
Yeah,
Delia. And they
yeah,
have actually a really nice
yeah.
conversation. I thought so. Delia is Delia. I think she's a little more
But I
likable.
love she's still the same Delia too. She closes her eyes when she's trying to make a point.
Catherine
If
O'Hara,
you don't let me gut out this house.
you're right. And it's like, why would you sell that house? Um, I loved the little Easter eggs that was salt and pepper throughout. They weren't in your face, but they were there, including, I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning, when again, there's the whole camera pan through the little miniature thing, we saw the Maitlands in little figure form going up a hill. At least I believe it to be the Maitlands. I don't have confirmation on that, but that's what I'm going with. Um, and of
And
course,
then
the world.
explaining them too. That was, you needed to do that. You couldn't just gloss over that. And
Hell
that
no.
kind of definitely factored into Astrid's, disbelief that her mother can actually see ghosts and all of that. She never believes it,
Right.
and she's like, well, where are those ghosts in the attic? And she goes, well, the Maitlands, they found a loophole and were able to move on. She's like, yeah, that's convenient, that kind of
Right.
thing. So
Yeah.
it fit into it. It wasn't Lydia just coming out and saying, "Oh, and this is what happened to the blah blah blahs." It was a
Right.
conversation that was organic to what the characters were playing in it. So
Absolutely. And of course, I think Astrid's biggest complaint about her mom and calling her abilities BS is that the one ghost that she cannot see is their dad,
yeah,
Richard, who
yeah.
died on a fishing
Well, we
expedition.
find out exactly how he died in the Amazon, eaten by piranhas. So there's
Piranhas.
that.
But there was that whole scene that was, it was family affirming, let's just call it. And I think I really, I enjoyed it. Um, there was a great nod at the end of the movie to what I believe like the Newhart show. If you remember how the
Oh,
Newhart show ended, it's like, wow, I just had the strangest dream. Kind of
yes,
thing. And I don't know. There was a hell of a lot more in Beetlejuice that I really loved and appreciated than
yes,
not. And I like how the story was threaded together. I think that, you know, Tim Burton just seemed not just Tim Burton, the main cast just seemed happy to be there and
yeah,
doing their work. And
yeah,
I loved how they pushed an envelope. I
yeah.
really do.
And it's funny because Gina Davis says, well, you can't really have us come back because, ghosts don't really age. So I'm not sure how they would work. And I thought about Michael Keaton. I go, but he's all under all that makeup. So you wouldn't see whether he had aged or not. He absolutely
Right.
looked the same.
He looked pretty
He
much the
looked
same, maybe.
exactly the same.
Yeah, and I get it. And I think that that's bold of Gina Davis to say they pretty much
Yeah.
aged out. And those
Yeah.
characters didn't have that benefit of being under makeup. I mean, her and
Right.
Alec Baldwin were themselves, so to speak.
Right.
Um, how they treated them was very nice. They found a
Yes.
loophole. They got on the soul
And that
tree.
made me feel good.
Me too. Me too. And you could sense that
That made
uh
Lydia feel good too.
Lydia feel good too,
Yeah.
and it was just everything seemed to be organic as to what has happened in 36 years and how we are today. I appreciated being back at that house. Um, but I also appreciated that they gave us a different story,
Yeah.
a story that furthers, that
Furthers the world.
continues, and it doesn't rehash necessarily.
Right.
Um, you know, they had to do the music numbers, but I thought that Burton upped the ante,
Yeah.
and he did it in such a way I was laughing my ass off,
Me too. The whole
and I was
audience was.
just
I saw it was I got an early access screening and it was packed and they were
it was
laughing their
did
asses off.
you
So
went to the fan event? Did you go to the
no, I
fan
don't know
event?
if it was a fan event. It was just an early access, AMC Burbank's good about that. They usually have those kinds of things. So
Yeah, I
um
know. Yeah, so we
I
uh
don't think it was a fan event. No, because
they said it
no.
was I guess because I was reading about the box office or in the trades today because they released it did 13 million in its
Yeah.
preview nights, but they said they included the Wednesday night fan events or whatever. So we did get the Sipper Cup. Did you see the Sippy Cup?
Oh no, I didn't
The
get one of
Sippy
those.
the Sippy Cups are great. I have it over here for me. Oh, look, it comes in a
Oh,
bag.
fun.
Look at that. And it comes with one of four
Show it.
toppers.
Can't see
I'm
it.
showing it. I'm showing it. I'm doing it. I
Oh.
got to put it together in a sense. I got to put the topper on it. Oh, we
So
forgot.
let's
We haven't talked about Bob.
oh
Bob.
Bob.
Oh, Bob. Bob was awesome. And speaking of Bob,
Ah.
the
It's Bob.
sippy cup. Look at that. How great is that
That's
sippy
cute.
cup?
That's
And you can
very
put this
cute.
on a day like today, you can fill it up with ice and water, and there you go. Have your own
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
that was great. So yeah, Beetlejuice kind of reigns over all of the shrunken head men, I guess, whatever you want to call them, including Bob, who was his right hand man. Poor Bob.
Oh my poor Bob. Yeah, there was a few times where it was, poor Bob, and then
Yeah,
in memoriam too. Oh man, I love that.
yeah,
It
it
was
was good
yeah.
stuff. It was good stuff.
So
Yeah, it
yeah,
was all good. I mean, I would give this a solid 4.5 for me.
I give it a solid. I don't usually do the halves, but I give it a solid 4 at least.
Yeah,
And again, just because of the Monica
yeah,
Bellucci
just didn't
stuff,
need it.
and
Didn't
and
take
not that
away, but just didn't need
yeah,
it.
and she's not bad by any
No,
stretch.
no.
But there were just so it just felt comfortable too,
Yeah,
and just as irreverent as the original Beetlejuice was.
right. So
Um,
let me ask you before we
yeah,
sign off, because I know
sure,
we usually tend to
sure.
talk about our director's
Yeah,
body of work. So
yeah.
what is your favorite Tim Burton movie?
Oh,
I have one. We've
you
had
know,
this discussion before, I think.
I would, yeah, I would have to go. I love Beetle. Okay, my top three are Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands from me. You know,
Those are definitely my top three too. But I would say Edward Scissorhands is my favorite.
and it's a
That
beautiful
one just
movie.
always touches me. It really
It's
does.
still,
And it's
yeah, it's again, he's working with people that he's worked with before. They seem to be his muses. They seem to communicate. They seem to share that language that makes them shine, where he's
yeah,
able to make his actors shine.
yeah,
That's the great part of a director. Um, Batman, love Batman. I love Batman Returns.
yeah.
I'm also a big fan of his Sleepy Hollow. His
Yes.
Sleepy Hollow, I think, is really good. And again, when you that's a rated R movie
Yeah.
that has blood and gore, and I'm watching this movie going, how the hell did they get rated PG-13 on this?
Right.
Like that really pushed. Like I'm telling you, if that were a smaller company, that would have
Yeah.
never gotten a PG-13. That goes
Yeah.
to show the power of a major studio.
Yeah. So to look at his timeline here, Pee Wee's Big Adventure was his first one.
Yep.
Well, Frankenweenie, it was a short, but then
There's a
Pee Wee's Big
short.
Adventure, that was his big first foray. Then it was Beetlejuice. So
Yeah.
Beetlejuice was the second.
And
Now
then
I'm
Edward
curious,
Scissorhands.
and then
Go
Edward
ahead.
Scissorhands where he meets up with Johnny Depp, and then then it's all Johnny Depp for the next couple ones, and then
And wasn't Winona
um
in that too? Catherine
in
O'Hara
what
was.
in what
Edward Scissorhands.
no uh-uh.
Who was the
Just
who am I
Winona.
confusing? Yeah, okay.
It's
Just Winona.
Diane Weiss who
Diane
plays the
Weiss.
mom.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I say Edward Scissorhands is my favorite, and then
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, and then Batman. But Batman was great from, and Batman Returns. Actually, I kind of pair them both. Batman Returns actually is a better film in my opinion. I mean, Batman,
Interesting.
he's introducing it, but I felt like Kim Basinger's character is a little annoying, and there was just some stuff that
I mean, what he does with Catwoman.
honestly, the best part of the original Batman was Prince's soundtrack. So I'm
Ha
just gonna
ha.
say
I
that
don't.
out
Hey,
loud.
okay. Fair enough.
But Batman Returns really it gels completely with the
Yeah.
addition of Danny DeVito, who, by the way, I was happy to see a small cameo by Mr.
Yes.
DeVito
That's so funny too, because he was
in this
featured.
one.
No, well, he was featured in a photo at Venice. I think it was
Ah,
Venice. Yeah, it was recently. He was featured in a photo with the cast, and I was like going, what the hell is he doing there? I go, he must have just been there. And they said, come on, Danny. And then I'm like, oh, you watched the movie? Oh, okay. I get it. I didn't put two
again.
and two together that he might have been in this movie. But he's been with him in a couple of movies too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I love when they do. I love when directors work with the same people. Not
yeah,
with every movie, but they bring them back with certain movies. You had to do
yeah.
that with Beetlejuice here. Tim Burton. I'm not going to be one that says Tim Burton's back. He never left.
No, he hasn't. He
Left.
hasn't. Wednesday is a fantastic series on Netflix, by the way. Really great. highly recommend watching it. I know season 2 is coming out pretty soon. I know they're filming it right now anyway, but he still has it. There's no question. But
And the creators of that.
I would love to see another collaboration with Johnny Depp, though. I really would.
I would like to see one more. Yeah, same here. What are your thoughts on do you think there'll be another Beetlejuice movie? I mean, we know that this is going to do okay, but if they end it here, I'm fine.
I'm fine too. I'm fine too. If they continue it on and use Jenna Ortega, maybe. I don't know. It felt like such a nice coda.
I
just
agree.
don't see where else they could go, because he expands the world in a brilliant way. What more can he show? I don't know. I think it should be just one and done.
I'm with you. And but I would like to see him with Johnny Depp one more time. Because those
maybe
two,
maybe they're talking. Who knows? We never know.
Hope so.
We don't know.
I hope so. Yep. I hope so. I hope so. So there you go. The juice is loose. Go catch him at a theater near you. Get those popcorn. And if you're in Southern California, there's no better way to beat the heat other than to have some juice, a lot of juice, hydrate. And
in a nice, cool movie theater.
Nice, cool movie theater. Like yours, the movie theater was packed yesterday, which is good. It was such a positive, great experience. This is what we love. This is an aspect of movies that we love. We love that interaction, bunch of strangers in a room, and then letting those images reflect off that huge silver screen. We saw it in IMAX. And it looked gorgeous, as you would expect from Tim Burton.
Of course.
So it was great. It just felt good and comfortable and just great. And when we clamor for like originality and stuff, well, I'm telling you, there are certain things you'd see in this movie that you haven't seen all year.
Yeah,
and
that's true. And what a nice, I have to say, usually August, beginning of September, it's kind of doldrummy as far as movies are concerned. But I feel like we've had a nice sort of, there's been ups and downs, but it's been kind of a nice sort of progression. And with Beetlejuice kind of starting off the fall season, it's nice, kind of nice. Now we're going to start getting into the Oscar contenders. All the film festivals right now, Venice and Telluride, all this good positive vibes coming out of those film festivals for some 100%.
And we have a movie that we will be watching together next week, which I'm sure we will do a podcast on. We could spoil it. Speak No Evil.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to that too. Looking forward to seeing that together with you.
I might be doing the podcast remotely. Not from my home in Burbank. I will be remote.
Well, isn't that kind of remote anyways? like how are we doing this remotely anyways?
That's true.
In our lovely home makeshift studios.
Absolutely.
But looking forward to going to the movies together again with you to see this movie. I wish we could have seen Beetlejuice together, but I'm glad.
I would have been hitting your arm.
Laughing. You would have been. Well, I would have been between you and people, and it would have been great. But look forward to seeing you on Monday, folks. We look forward to seeing you at the movies. Please comment, like, and subscribe here at the KDM on YouTube. We're very thankful that you found us, that you like us. Please tell us what you think of Beetlejuice, the original Beetlejuice. What is your favorite Tim Burton movie? And what's your favorite comment that Kit said in this entire podcast? Love to hear about it.
And Dimitri's, yes.
I have nothing special to say. But anyways, stay cool if you're in Southern California. Elsewhere, you are cool.
Lots of places in this country stay cool. So
so it's awesome, Kit. It's always a pleasure doing this with you, and we'll talk very, very soon.
Very soon. Bye-bye.